Hello everybody, welcome back to Cougar Talk Weekly with Cougarisbae. Today we're going to take a look at some of the stuff that's in the ESO forums, just like we do every week, and we're going to talk about some New Year's resolutions in the mix as far as ESO is in the game. So first and foremost, we have a topic here. It says, which guild would you like to see updated in 2023? The Titan Tim says there's a lot of speculation ongoing on what might be coming in 2023. In terms of systems, one need area I see in ESO would have to be a rework of the guilds that were introduced early in the life of the game, but that are still pillars to which the Elder Scrolls games are built upon. They are underrepresented and haven't received much work since. For example, Mages Guild, Fighters Guild, Thieves Guild, and Dark Brotherhood all have nowhere near the replayability of the Undaunted. Which is true. I guess the Dark Brotherhood and the Thieves Guild and the Fighters and the Mages Guild, they have like the dailies, but the reward system for that is not very good. I know the Thieves Guild and the Dark Brotherhood have better reward system than the Fighters Guild and Mages Guild, but I think the Fighters Guild has the Ashlander motif, Thieves Guild has the Thieves Guild motif, Dark Brotherhood has the Dark Brotherhood motif. So he says Mages Guild and Fighters Guild each have their own respective active skills, which is appreciated, where Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood have fallen behind. Other than that, though, how does a player identify as a member of the guild in-game without a title on, and what does that title even mean? How can I look at a player using the Master Wizard title and say, that player right there, that's somebody invested in the Mages Guild, when the meaning isn't there in the current game? There's no equivalency for these guilds to, let's say, a true genius for a dungeon runner that hangs out at the Undaunted. The repeatable systems in place offer nothings in the form of challenge, and there are no rankings within the guilds like prior games, or even like Tales of Tribute has. An insult to its own. It's true, I wish that we could have a ranking system in the Undaunted too. We have talked about that in our podcast before, and we have said, it would be really nice if we can rank dungeons, like have veteran shipwright and who can do the fastest speed run, and who has the higher the higher like score, or vitality, stuff like that. That would be pretty cool to kind of have. Doing the hard mode gets you more and stuff like that. That would be cool. Yes, it would basically ask for 3 DPS in a tank a lot of the times, but there's some dungeons, vet DLC ones, that really do need that healer in the mix when you're doing the hard mode. If you're not, then I could kind of argue that you could do it with 3 DPS. All have self heals in place, but as far as anything else goes, that would be pretty cool. And what this player is saying is that they kind of could have that for the Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood. Maybe have like a ranking system where, hey, the amount of stuff you, the amount of quests you've done this week. And if anything, the reward system, just a little bit better. Now, he says Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood, they need active skill line, and all 4 guilds need a system reworked with new rewards and ranking system to the prior games. Although all of this would be unlikely in 1 year, if you had to choose any of the 4 guilds to get some much needed love, which guild would you choose? I'm throwing my hat in for the Brotherhood. To be honest, I really do like the Dark Brotherhood, but I think the Mages Guild already has an active skill line, so I'm okay with them not getting the love first. They need to be reworked, I agree. Same with Fighters Guild. I think there's some stuff that they could potentially change in there that could more be beneficial if you were part of the Fighters Guild, and then maybe kind of work back to the Mages Guild and the Fighters Guild at the end, since they already have an active skill line. But Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood definitely Now, what is one of the things that you could potentially have in the Thieves Guild skill line? Maybe, maybe an extra, like, crit chance when you're attacking from behind. Maybe, like, a skill that has an extra crit chance in attacking from behind. If you're in sneak, you can get a certain amount of damage and have stuff like that. If you're undetected, or like the first, I guess, shot at the boss with a light attack, while that skill is in your bar, could get like a little boost of damage if you're in the Thieves Guild. Or I'm not in the Thieves Guild, in Dark Brotherhood. As far as the Thieves Guild, you could have to where having this skill in your line could give you an extra chance to get like something that you steal, or like a little purse. There's, I don't know. It just seems there could be stuff. I'm sure that the community could come up, like, if given the chance to just pass this thing, if really given the chance, the community could potentially come up with stuff. And the developers, Meg186 says, now that you mention it, I had this random idea once that the ESO Thieves Guild could give you a sort of blackjack tool, similar to the Blade of Woe, except that it would knock NPCs out for a few, maybe 10 minutes. Obviously, it can't be a synergy since it would conflict with the BOW, a problem that vampire feeding already has. But I could see it being an active ability that would only work on unaggro humanoids. See, this is what I'm talking about. That would be cool. The knockout effect would be like a knockdown plus stun that would also turn the target neutral, or even like petrify them for like a minute or something. So the Thieves Guild one could give you some sort of additional reward if you manage to do so. I have no idea if this is possible to implement or even worth doing it, but it might make the thieving a bit more thievy. Either that, or it would be more it would be hilariously buggy mess. Heaven 13 says, I love to see new heists added to the new zones, new gold items to steal, more lantern guards, and more zones designed like office landings with roof stops utilized and such. I really love to see this expanded throughout the game because of the gameplay that DLC offered some fun alternatives. Expanding that is optional. Alternative ways to play and quest in the newer zones would be a welcome addition. And this is something that Sauce has said. They want to bring in some older stuff into the mix, so this would make sense to kind of bring in the mix. It wouldn't be that hard to implement already since you kind of have a starting point. So you could do something like that. The Dieter one use cases couldn't choose as they all need updating. Most of them need daily local quests in all towns and cities where there is a guild house. Certainly in all DLC zones if you don't want to clash with the Fighters Guild based on dailies. Dark Brotherhood should at least have one representative in each zone, whether that is in a Thieves Guild or in their own house. I have one of each type of character. I like to feel the need to check into the local guild house whenever whichever character I'm playing. As to rewards, gold will do, or endeavor points or crowns. Don't really care about that, as it's about making the whole world, really. This Czechoslovakia, yes, so personally I dislike being undaunted. I don't like being associated with a bunch of useless, stupid chunks that dabble in necromancy and blood magic. But the rewards and items and buffs are high enough that I do, despite that, because I play with other people occasionally and I enjoy my characters employing a variety of visual effects. So this is probably a role player. I think you want to be careful that you didn't put the other guilds in the same position as the Undaunted. I'd rather not be stuck feeling my character is going to be a letdown for people because I didn't join the Dark Brotherhood. I think the Fighters Guild and Mages Guild could benefit from having an additional daily quest giver added for the DLC zones that players own, that sends players to deal with things in DLC areas and to do DLC events with lower levels of popularity. This is nice. This this is very easy to add. Just add where the daily guys quest givers are. Just add a random ass person from the Mages Guild and the Fighters Guild and say, hey, here, go kill this thing. Go kill this Hero Storm. This particular Hero Storm. Go kill this, go kill that. You know, stuff like that. That would be cool. And Dr. Khan says, I love completely optional hard modes, dailies, and Cold Harbor for Mages Guild and Fighters Guild. Beyond that, the Dark Brotherhood quest lacks depth. In Oblivion, they left in hints as to who may have ordered the hits. In ESO, the whole story was a murder mystery with a betrayal. It's true. The dailies became just a means to an end to get more faction. The gear sucks as well, and can just be obtained from the remains silent. Thieves Guild at least has some heavy pieces that you can get gear for that are actually useful for PvP. That's true. The Thieves Guild does have some good PvP stuff. I think the Sigil Guild line needs more attention. The grind to get through the skill line is horrible. It should be made easier, in my own opinion. I think the grind is perfectly fine. You can get through the Sigil skill line within like 4 hours if you know, if you have like the thing pulled up. This Jarl Ironheart is saying, why are most people picking Thieves Guild? What is there to do with them except steal stuff? The Fighters Guild is pathetic in this game, honestly. We should have daily quests in every zone for them with new and random jobs to do, not destroy anchors. Also, each zone's Fighters Guild house should have a unique story, just like Oblivion. They're not a private army that works just for Meridia. They're a group of warriors that do jobs for everyone. Let's move on from the playmail. It's long past in this time, Livia. So, this guy actually has a good point. That could be cool to have, and I mean, you don't have to introduce these little quests, the whole entire time. You can introduce it little by little. Let's say, and it can be something as easy as like, hey, I need you to go to the main Fighters Guild in Wayrest and talk to this dude about, you know, what we have done here. Or, hey, I need you to take this, sword or whatever that we picked up from such and such. I mean, it's just a little quest. If you haven't done, if you're not maxing the Fighters Guild, they could say, hey, we need you to go pick up this sword from this particular delve. Take this person with you and keep him alive or something like that. That way it still gives playability to grinding out Fighters Guild if you want to. And it'll be something cool and new to add to the game. So like have individual little quests in the Fighters Guild halls would be pretty nice. So a lot of people are saying Fighters Guild needs some work. The Ultimate is named after a data artifact, not sure why. Even after all these years, they haven't generalized its name as we move past Meridia. As far as the content, you've hit it right on the head. Dolmens are not fun repeatable, as they are too easy and it doesn't solve the problem. I brought up guild rankings and being established and recognized as a member of the guild. Yeah, I really do think that guild ranking within the guilds would be a pretty cool thing. Because remember in the Thieves Guild way back in Oblivion, with the Grey Fox or whatever, you got to that point, you became the Grey Fox, and you were given the little thing. So that would be cool if you could potentially become, maybe not the leader of the guild, but like a priest, like maybe the second in command of the guild, and make, you know, some choices and such in the storyline, and that can kind of like basically figure out your standing. And if you've done it already, you could still do the storyline. So it also gives playability to the content of the game. But basically that quest line would give you your ranking within the guild. And you can do that with each character you have. That way it creates a chance for you to do different choices. And that could potentially lead you to different jobs that could be filled within the guild ranks and the top. So that would be pretty cool. So a lot of people are saying, cool things. I definitely do like the fact that the guild rework, I think it's definitely done. Being tossed in the back burner. I think this would be pretty cool to see in 2023. I don't think we will see it in 2023, but this is something that so if we were to talk about what we would have for the New Year's resolution, this definitely goes into the mix. So it's basically rework the guilds. New Year's resolution, rework the guilds. That would be pretty cool to see. The next one is game activity ideas. So I looked into the forum, and since I was not able to find a single place to gather feedback and game ideas, I decided to post here. Simple. I love loot in any form through quests, drops, achievements, events, blah blah blah. Why not introduce some RNG items that would make the player feel really unique while doing everyday activities anyway? The element of surprise. It could be through fishing, antiquity system, random event, you name it, but a simple implementation like a tri-factor system. For example, that when you get that ring or piece of armor that has the perfect stats, it really feels unique and satisfactory. It could also be an item with a unique skill bound to it. For example, not game breaking. To be honest, what would be cool, and a lot of people are asking for vet content in the overland, so it's a little bit harder, and this could be introduced with that. You have a chance, whether it be very little chance to gain a gold piece of equipment or a gold piece of jewelry or a gold weapon from doing a daily boss, or a boss, or a Delph boss, or a world boss. You have a chance to get that. And as far as fishing, you could even add there too, you have a chance to get a gold fish that's worth 5k or something if you sell it to a vendor, or 10k. So you have a rare chance, and if you're picking up nodes, you have a chance to, you already have the ethereal dust, so you could potentially have something where you have a chance to get a little pouch or whatnot that has more of that specific I guess how do I say, that map material, or some sort of map material in from that node. So let's say if you pick up a Ancestor Silk node, you have a chance to get a little pouch that maybe has some more Ancestor Silk on it. It's a little glorified Ancestor Silk node, something like that. That would be pretty cool. But and as far as the chest in the world, you could have to wear the chest, if you happen to get the perfect chest, you could farm, you could get I know they come with treasure maps, but you could get a mini treasure map that has not an antiquity, but a gold pouch that you can get for 5k if you go dig it or something. I don't know. I think the treasure maps are good in that aspect, but I'm just kind of babbling. The moment mythic items were introduced, people started theory crafting, and builds already long ago implemented with these mythic items that everybody have. No, I'm not saying to make the drop chance low, quite the opposite, make it high drop. No, I really think if you're gonna put like gold stuff like that, if you're gonna put gold jewelry, gold gear, in the perfected gear in the zone, like you should probably make it a little bit higher chance. But I think the game is fine as far as the drop rate of where it's things right now. It's just like the overland content's just too easy. So I mean I do like the thing, but we already have mythic items and that's kind of what they do. So says make the player feel really unique and lucky, not by opening boxes for mounts, cosmetic housing items, but really rewarded with power and their QOL. Free teleport with 2-hour cooldown, for example. That I could get behind. That's pretty cool. Something like that. A free teleport with 2-hour cooldown. Like a little scroll that says, hey, you can teleport for free with a 2-hour cooldown. And you should be able to sell that if you want for his personal luck. Something that will help her in their everyday activities from now on. Then he says, few more ideas from off the top of my head. Killing contracts, Witcher style. Kill me these will reward you with items. You kind of have that in a way with some of the Thieves Guild and all that stuff. Reputation system. You can gain access to merchant NPCs. Use currency to buy really useful items, skills, tools, whatever. This system could have multiple ways, currencies to achieve the same result. Someone will prefer to gather herbs, another one grind mobs for hides, cloth. That would be cool if you could get NPCs, the roaming NPC merchants that are out there, and they would switch every day. So it become like a little scavenger hunt and say, hey, like, I need these, and I could exchange this for this. An important note to these dailies, do not make them feel obligatory so that you're forced to do them every day. That you would lead to a hard limit a player can achieve per day. Make them self-independent so that everybody wanders in their favorite zones rather than forcing the player to reside in a place he simply does not like. I do like that. Make them zone independent. Basically, Billiam says ESO seems to be focusing more on content matters and player ability matters, and less on items matter or stats matter. I think ESO is trying to distance its gameplay from the intense grind that RNG would inspire. Yeah, but this is not, like, that kind of grind is not something that you can, I don't think the grind should be there. I think the RNG, like, the system that he's talking about, I would be way, like, behind that if it's stuff like little shit. Not necessarily, like, a perfect item or anything like that. Because that's a little bit grindy, and that's, you know? So, I do agree with, like, the little scroll that's, like, a 2-hour cooldown, a free teleport, or, I mean, even if you find a freaking experience scroll out there, I don't know, like, something. That would be pretty easy. Now, we can argue about how effective Sauce is being at steering ESO in that direction, but it does appear to be where they want to go. I mean, I really do like the whole aspect of finding smaller stuff. Like, little stuff that could help the everyday. I don't like the items thing in the perfect trade or whatever. We have that in the Antiquitous system. If anything, perfected gear from zones are gonna make people go back into that zone. So, this guy says, some want to play, which is fine as long as saw something about the large number of players who have no interest in any endgame activities like veteran content and PvP, and who are in danger of having their additional content cut back. Also, in pushing for more repeatable content, Saw seems to be potentially switching to more RNG, not less. What is the point of doing more repeatable content if it isn't to have more chances of getting the decent loot that you wanted? So I really do like a little bit of the ideas that Auros has said. Especially this right here, the free teleport, stuff like that. I do like that, like, if you could reward a player when they're just randomly doing stuff in the game, to reward them with, like, little stuff like that. And, even if it comes from, like, the Undaunted dailies, like, it could come, from just doing random stuff. Could come from fishing, from gathering nodes, from killing a world boss, from killing a delve boss, from killing a dungeon boss, from killing dungeon ad, like, from killing just a dark anchor. It doesn't matter, but just add stuff like that. That free teleport with 2-hour cooldown, I mean, it's nothing, like, it doesn't matter to me. I can just go to the Way Shrine and do it. But that's actually a pretty cool thing that the game could give you. So, and why not make it unbound so other people can buy it? Because there might be somebody that says, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna try to get all these sky shards, and I don't want to cool down on my teleport, so I'm just gonna buy a teleport scroll, and for 2 hours I can go get sky shards and travel from place to place." So that would be pretty cool. I like that idea. But as far as the item stuff, nah. It's fine as it is. Now, the next topic. If ESO went full casual, would you still play it? No. Basically, full casual, like, this guy says it all. Casual for me means no dungeons, no trials, no PvP. Just your regular RPG and their quests. Sounds very bland to me, and he picked no. That is basically that. ESO's already going nerfing the vet dungeons to have less mechanics, nerfing the stuff. Each year, the power creep goes up, or they nerf something here or whatnot, and it's very easy to do. I remember when I started ESO that White Gold Tower was hard as crap to do. Like, we were there for 5 hours trying to kill Molekina. That inhibitor boss was hell. You had to literally kill the portals, if an Ogrim came out, God forbid, you had to ping pong the pinion. The tank couldn't just stand there and ping pong the pinion. Like, you would be literally running around the room with that bitch turned blue. And Molekina, if an Atro came out, you literally had to focus the Atro because it was gonna kill the whole group. In the last 25%, you're like, oh god, you literally had to play mechanics to a T back in the day. That is basically, yeah, I mean, guys, we're already getting less content like that, so no, we don't it's fine the way it is. It's fine the way it is. And this guy says PvE mode for Cyrodiil Imperial City, where PvP is disabled, and PvP rewards also, tolerance decreased by the amount on PvE mode. No, I mean, the PvP disabled thing, I think that would be interesting, so you get quests there, but I don't think you should get Telvar. I think instead of Telvar, you should get gold, just like the Overland. The Telvar thing, you should have for PvP. That should be a PvP reward. If you add that to PvE and PvP disable mode, it's just gonna kill that. So, as far as PvE mode for Cyrodiil, I could get behind that. Or make a campaign that's just PvE. PvE mode, just to quest and such. But during the PvP event every year, like, basically PvE mode would be disabled because it's, yeah. Anyways, yeah, no. I do like the PvE mode in Cyrodiil, but I do not like that the Telvar is decreased. You can really exploit that. So if you're gonna do PvE mode, it should be for gold. You get the gold instead of, whatever, 2 or 3 gold per kill. But not Telvar. Scaramanox says 2023 new feature speculations. Here's what I remember as most requested. New class Trial Finder story mode dungeons, hide shoulders and or crotch flaps, group duels. Not requested as much, but nice to have. Underwater swimming, companion duels, battle spire dungeons, PvP, PvP, PvE, PvP arenas, 2v2, 3v3, 4v4, housing battlegrounds, new battlegrounds set in the theme of a new chapter. Saraka says difficult selection for overland spellcrafting. Yes, those all have been asked. My guess, the new chapter will be the first adventure zone since Cragborn, and will have a vet and normal mode. The vet mode will be separate instance. It will be the reason we don't have a story DLC. As I always stated, a separate instance would cut content since it makes them to have to create the same zone twice. There will be no new system. Old quests will also get a vet version. The new system will be PvP system, and it isn't being implemented until the end of the year because of the server React architecture. I know that for many, getting the option for harder overland content is also on that list of requested features. Gronox says it will either be hard mode overland, or since update 35 destroy the endgame raiding community, possibly a new reward system. Can't see them doing anything big with all the coding and replacing servers still ongoing. Now this would be pretty cool. If you have underwater swimming, might as well add flying and flying mount. However, I think all 3 are unlikely. I do want to say something about underwater swimming. If you have underwater swimming, then you need to add a, how do I say this? Not necessarily a class, but something that you are able to, like a quest line that you're able to do to gain the ability to do underwater swimming. And with underwater swimming, if you were able to do that, then you can have it to where you can find stuff underwater, like weapons, pouches, fish, chests, stuff like that. I do like the flying mounts. I do think if we do have flying mounts that we could have potential battles in the sky. So, like, for example, you might have to fight a dragon in Remen, like, and elsewhere. Like, you would be, like, let's say you could come across a dragon while you fly over the area. So basically, if you go over that area with the flying mount, you could potentially wake up that dragon and kind of target on you, and then have it to where you're teleported to the ground with your character to get that. It'll be a little bit finicky. I do like the idea of the flying mount, but yeah. And this guy says flying mounts would be cool. They have them in WoW. I agree. I really do like the flying mounts idea, but it's got to be correctly worked. Ben TSG says it's got to be something big and worthwhile. I'm not too sure spellcrafting could fall under that feature. Maybe as the chapters feature, though. I have no idea what it could be. I just hope it's not a PvP feature, personally. But I can see it lining up to be a given release time and supposed plan for the hardware stuff. I mean, I'm all in the spellcrafting and the new class hype train too, so. This friend says, I really don't have much hope. I like the chapter itself be better. But if ESL Plus is really just the craft bag now, dungeons are kind of net negative. If you do just dungeon finder dailies, since the DLC stuff is harder. I'd rather they cut Q1 than Q4. Part of me expects the chapter will be the same content-wise, with a better flowing story and no big feature, with that big feature instead being in Q4 for everyone. Q3 is pretty much dead quarter now, since they always do bug fixes and changes anyway. I do think that Q4 would probably be better to do stuff than Q1, but I understand why they're doing it in Q1. They're trying to get the most out of their game money-wise in Q1, and that could potentially make it to where it flows through the year. It's just a marketing strategy, guys. React says they have time and time again touted new features that ended up being extreme disappointments. I'm not expecting this to be any different until we have a concrete reason to believe it otherwise. Unless something has changed, they have confirmed that they cannot change any integral aspects of the code or combat system until they finish the code rewrite, because of how spaghettified the code is right now. The chapter feature seems likely to be an overland content rebalance of some sort. If they are reducing the new content they are introducing into the game because so many of the developers are working on the new IP, this is a way for them to artificially create new content with less developer investment. While I know many people will be excited for this feature, in particular, I am happy for them. It's pretty disappointing as an endgame player who is more interested in combat PvE and PvP than questing or exploration. I sincerely hope that the Q4 feature system is a meaningful PvP addition. When the Q4 DLC launches, it will have been about 4 years and 9 months since PvP received any new content. Dirty D says, I can almost guarantee you it will not be spellcrafting. Balance in PvP is almost always broken, and spellcrafting would just make it 1,000 worse. Or if it is spellcrafting, it'll be a very insignificant system. I'm wondering if they're going to make abilities perform differently in PvP and PvE. That's definitely one of the most requested features. Yes! That needs to happen. Like, if we can get a balance between PvP and PvE so you don't have to fuck with skills because it's OP in PvP or OP in PvE. Just split it, for freak's sakes. If anything, I'm very okay with that. If that's all they do, I'll be happy, because then we can go back to the days where the Templar in PvE is actually a freaking strong one, and it just hasn't been nerfed to hell. And that's kind of what we got in a lot of ways, because the Templars in PvP were just being ridiculous to kill. So, this guy says, Telvanni Peninsula plus spellcrafting will be a great fit. I mean, if spellcrafting happens, that I would like that. A lot of times, ESO has said that they're going to want to put a spellcrafting in the game. So I think this is the time to do it, and it would bring a lot of the player base back. So, really, the biggest thing that ESO needs to do is to put confidence into the players that have left, and make it to where, you know, you get that back. So, all in all, that's, you know, it is what it is. That's what needs to happen. Anyways, folks, thank you for watching. Make sure you guys check out our Patreon. We would love for you to support our Patreon. We have a lot of cool tiers in the Patreon list. So if you're able to support our guild through Patreon, please do so. We also have our teams. We are looking for one spot in our advanced prog team, and our beginner team always needs subs because permanent spots open up. We have weekly traders. Last week for Christmas, we had Aiden in Wayrest, best trader in the game, and we did it because we felt like you guys deserved the best during the holidays. So, you know, thank you guys for helping us make that possible. Thanks to Izzard for contributing a huge chunk of that into making that happen. Monday night events, as always, are the greatest fun. And we also have Tales of Tribute coming up. With the new year, we will have a new tournament system with Tales of Tribute. and we will have the monthly tournaments that are gonna come back, and we will see. I will introduce to you guys a new Tales of Tribute ranking system in the guild that we have. So that would be pretty cool to know that it will not be like a new system where you guys win an event. No, it'll be a ranking system where at the end we will look at points and get the prize support based on the points. So it encourages more participation from players, and it encourages players not to miss events. So thanks everybody for watching. Make sure you guys check out our Patreons. Bostiles, Cougarisbae, Score Music 09, X Reading X, Mark 271. Thank you guys and have a good day.